Tang Mo nodded. Me too. Abdullah glanced at the two people. Same. The old man asked, go in together. Yes. The old man's hand pressed on the door handle and gentle opened it. Dim light passed through the window and entered the attic. Tang Mo's eyes became more concentrated as the door opened. He sighed with relief when he saw the body still left in the attic. Abdullah opened his mouth, he is still there. The old man continued, I'm not interested in this body. Tang Mo suggested, go out and search around. The group agreed to his proposal. Okay. There were 2 hours of night but that didn't mean players had to stay outside the room for 2 hours. Not going outside the room was allowed by the Black Tower while going outside and back in was also allowed. During the day, there were more than 10 players. At night, there were only 3 people so it was easier to observe the other side. However, the 3 of them didn't intend to act together. From the attic, they went down the stairs to the second floor before separating. This was a rare opportunity to investigate the castle alone. During the day, everyone's conversations were held at the long table. They had to act together when searching for clues. One reason was to ensure fairness while the other was to prevent the monster from mixing in with the players and hiding clues. Tang Mo chose to go to the lobby on the first floor. The old man and Abdullah chose to go to the second floor. As the 3 people separated, Tang Mo quietly looked at the backs of the 2 men. The old man chose to go left while Abdullah went right. The 2 people didn't join together. They just looked for clues on their own, as if they didn't want to waste any time. Tang Mo went down the stairs and came to the long table. There were 13 small puppets in the center of the wooden table. On the back of the wooden chairs, the names Lena, David, Anatoly, and Bairuiao were all removed. Whenever night fell, the players placed the voting ticket on the table and no one took care of what happened to the whereabouts of the tickets. Tang Mo looked carefully at the table and found there were no white tickets or red tickets. He examined each chair where the players had sat. Then he went to the fireplace and turned over the thick ashes. He went to the kitchen and peered carefully through the cupboard. Half an hour later, the patter of footsteps was heard on the stairs. Tang Mo held a candlestick and the dim light reflected on his face, making him look gloomy. He walked up the stairs with no expression, moving through the second floor before going up to the third floor. At the door of the attic, he stopped and looked down the stairs. A sunken face was illuminated by candlelight. Tang Mo was silent for a moment. Your footsteps are very light. Abdullah replied, I walk lightly. After a moment, he asked, do you think I'm a monster because of this? His sarcastic laughter caused Tang Mo to frown. He didn't answer and just turned to open the door of the attic. He stared at the scene inside the door. The next moment, Tang Mo turned his head and spoke in a calm voice. Can you tell me, who stole the body? The narrow and dim attic was empty. Bairuiao's body was gone. Abdullah raised his head. What do you want to say? I didn't steal it. Tang Mo held the candlestick. It wasn't me either. Abdullah said, it is probably that old man. Tang Mo started sniffing the air. There was only the smell of old dust, nothing else. He held the candlestick and leaned down slightly, letting the light shine onto a corner of the attic door. He saw a brown trace on the corner of the wooden door. Tang Mo reached out and gently touched it. Nothing was erased but it was wet. Tang Mo asked, where is George, the old man? Abdullah's dark eyes shone in the dim candlelight. I didn't see him. Tang Mo held the candle and his lips curved. Is this your blood or his? His words hadn't finished yet when there was a sharp sound behind Tang Mo and Tang Mo directly threw the candle away. Abdullah punched the candle and stood below the stairs, looking up at Tang Mo with a cold, snake-like expression. This was the first time Tang Mo had seen him smile. It was sinister and especially bizarre in the darkness. You are going to die anyway. There is no point asking too much. Once he finished speaking, his fist arrived as expected. As this fist was about to reach Tang Mo, Abdullah's 5 fingers became claw-shaped and wanted to gouge out Tang Mo's heart. Tang Mo moved sideways to dodge, holding the stair railing in one hand. Abdullah's claws became eagle-like and attacked Tang Mo like shadows. His nails had some turned black and when he grabbed onto the handrails, the imprint of 5 fingers was left. In the place where his nails touched, the wood made a sizzling sound and quickly rotted away. Tang Mo saw this and didn't dare be careless. He held the smooth handrail of the stairs and moved down to the second floor. Abdullah followed him. Once the terrain opened, Tang Mo was no longer passive and took the initiative to attack. Abdullah wasn't strong and was slightly thin, but his movements were fast. He was physically soft and attacked Tang Mo from all angles. Whenever Tang Mo wanted to hit him, Abdullah moved like a fish to avoid it. Another attack caused Abdullah's fingers to be deeply embedded in the wall. This was an opportunity. Tang Mo's eyes brightened as he pulled off the metal handrail of the staircase, stabbing it accurately at Abdullah's head. Unexpectedly, Abdullah quickly pulled out his 5 fingers. His sunken face showed a smile of success and Tang Mo's eyes widened as he realized the other person's plan. Abdullah shouted and stabbed Tang Mo in the heart. Tang Mo quickly dodged but his waist was gouged at it. The flesh that encountered the black nails started to rot and melt. Tang Mo didn't hesitate to cut off a large piece of flesh while kicked the other person at the same time. The 2 men took a few steps back. Tang Mo said, the place where you attacked is a bit of a coincidence. I was just about to cut off this piece of flesh. Abdullah smiled coldly. You are smart. If you had been 1 second later, my poison would have reached your heart. Tang Mo smiled lightly. You don't understand what I mean. Abdullah didn't bother talking to him. Die for me. This time, Abdullah's attacks were more intense and swift. He didn't want to waste any time as he crazily attacked every second. Tang Mo was forced to retreat. Abdullah smashed the fireplace with one foot and the bricks blocked Tang Mo's view. At this time, he was attacked. Abdullah's claws stabbed at Tang Mo but unexpected, Tang Mo's body bent into an unthinkable shape, avoiding this attack. Abdullah immediately understood. This is your ability. Abdullah understood Tang Mo's hidden card and his expression changed. It is no wonder that guy said you would easily die without your ability. Your combat strength isn't good at all. Tang Mo didn't have time to talk and was forced back by the other person. In the castle, Abdullah's nails left marks on the wall. He was crazier, as if his ability would disappear if he didn't kill Tang Mo soon. He eventually forced Tang Mo into a corner of the stairs. Tang Mo had nowhere to hide and the black poisonous claws aimed straight for his heart. At this moment, there was the sound of a metal impact. Abdullah's eyes widened with disbelief as he looked down at his right hand. He saw that his black nails clearly touched Tang Mo's chest but couldn't go in. It wasn't just that. His fingers were shaking and 3 black nails even cracked. No way, you can't use props. Even then, only rare-grade props can block my nails. Abdullah stopped speaking and stared down at his abdomen. Tang Mo leaned against the wall, slightly breathless. Sweat soaked his face and his clothes were dyed red from the blood flowing at his waist. Abdullah's eyes shook as he stared at the sharp weapon that stabbed his body. Tang Mo had reached forward in the same posture as Abdullah, his right hand piecing Abdullah's stomach. The only difference was that his nails touched Tang Mo's chest and broke like they hit something hard, while Tang Mo's right hand had transformed into a triangular-shaped weapon that directly pierced Abdullah's body. A strong bloody taste filled Abdullah's mouth and his eyes turned red as he wanted to attack again. Tang Mo didn't give him the opportunity. He pulled out the black weapon and directly stabbed Abdullah's head. The Southeast Asian player had a bloody hole in his head. He tried to say, "You have 2 abilities," but the blood blocked his voice. He couldn't say anything and fell to the ground. Tang Mo's shaking fingers opened his clothes and looked at his chest. Ability, Gene Recombination Owner, Tang Mo, Fu Wenduo, Type, Genotype Function, any cell in the body can be turned to steel and the steel body has a rare grade prop level hardness. The recovery ability is accelerated. The cells can be regenerated 100 times faster than an average person. Level 9 Restriction, evolving the ability is extremely difficult. Note, the last person with this ability became Eve. Tang Mo version usage instructions, can only be used once a day and the duration is 30 seconds. The rate of the cell regeneration is 50 times that of ordinary humans and it lasts for 5 minutes. As I am writing these words, Tang Mo has already eaten Fu Wenduo's beep and hasn't given any money. The skin around Tang Mo's heart had become black steel. It slowly became skin but there were still 5 black finger marks on it. The black poison slowly invaded the body through the skin. Tang Mo raised his right hand without hesitation and used the black weapon to remove the flesh from his chest. He grunted and wiped the blood coming from his mouth. After a few minutes of rest, Tang Mo went to the attic and opened the door. In the quiet attic, there was only blood on the ground from the hundreds of pieces of flesh that the American player David had been cut into. Bairu Eao's body was gone. Pledge any amount to my Patreon to access to the BL Google Drives, where you can get early access to any chapters I have completed.